Namaste, everyone. Christian Long, life enhancement consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Wednesday evening here, 45 minutes south of the Canadian border. And we're jumping on for our weekly MCKS vlog. Let's invoke before we begin. Place your hands on your heart. Be aware of the beautiful, loving energy within your heart. Smile at your heart. Be aware of your crown on top of your head. Be aware of the divine bliss, the divine peace, the divine ecstasy. Be aware of your heart and your crown together. Silently repeat after me. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, you can invoke for whoever you're connected to, a guide, a teacher, a guru, a saint. To my respected and beloved teacher, Grandmaster Choa Koksui, Lord Mahaguru Jmeling, to Lord Buddha Kuan Yin, to Lord Ganesh, to all the holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, to the angels of humility, to the angels of good self-esteem and good self-worth, to our divine selves or higher souls, we humbly invoke for your divine light, love, and power, for your divine help, guidance, and protection, for inner and outer healing on all levels. We thank you, Lord God. We thank you all with gratitude, respect, and love. So be it, so be it, so be it. Well, it's good to have each and every one of you on. Welcome again. And for today's quote, I have it right here in front of me by Grandmaster Choa Koksui. It is eliminate pride by developing good self-esteem. Eliminate pride by developing good self-esteem on March 24th. And my son's birthday is tomorrow. He's turning a whopping 16 years old. I can't believe it. It's like he was 15 years old last year. And today's topic, one of my most favorite topics, one of the most mysterious topics, and one of the most difficult topics to not only understand, but to rid from your system, which is negative pride. So pride is connected to the virtues and vices that we work on within pranic healing and our Hatha yoga. And the virtue is accurate perception and correct expression. And the sub virtue of that is called honesty and non-lying. So when we have healthy pride, we see things accurately. When we have negative pride, we see things inaccurately, and then we express that inaccuracy incorrectly, right? So if I don't perceive something correctly, and then I try to explain that or act upon that to another person, it's not going to be correct, right? It's like having false information. So this this is the hardest of all the virtues to develop, and it is the last vice to go before one becomes a holy master, which is saying a lot, because a saint, would we all consider a saint to be a very developed soul? Even a saint can fall due to pride, due to pride. And one of the main reasons as to why we experience negative pride is because we don't know who and what we are. So the very first and most important realization for one to have on the spiritual path of accurate perception is to know who and what you are, which is the soul. Which is the soul. You are a being of light, a being of love, and a being of power. You are a being that can think, you're a being that can love, and you're a being that can will or make things happen. But the reason we suffer and the reason we experience low self-esteem and low self-worth is because we believe we are our physical body, our emotional body, and or our mental body. So if you want to manipulate somebody, if you want to control somebody, make them mad, attack their self-esteem, attack their self-worth. Because if they have negative pride and low self-esteem and low self-worth, they're going to get off their game. They're going to defend. They're going to get aggressive. They're going to get depressed. They're going to be swaying all over the place. And that's how you got them, right? So the reason we suffer is because we identify with things that are not of the soul. So your car is not of your soul. Your house is not of your soul. Your bank account is not of your soul. Your physical body is not of the soul. Your emotions, how you feel or don't feel about something, are not of the soul. Your thoughts, what you think about this or think about that, is not of the soul. Your political beliefs, your religious beliefs, your sexual preferences, your sexual identity. All of these things are not of the soul, but we suffer because we think we are those things. The interesting quality about negative pride is that it's on two sides of a pendulum. So, on one side of negative pride, which causes us suffering, is we think we are superior to everybody, right? In some way, shape, or form, right? We feel we are superior with our ability to earn money. We feel we're superior with the health and fitness of our body or the attractiveness of our body. We feel we are superior because we have um, greater mastery of our emotions than other people. We feel we're superior because we're mentally sharper or more intelligent or have a better memory. We believe ourselves to be spiritually superior because we have bigger chakras, a bigger aura. We can do miraculous healings, for instance, right? So that's one side of the pendulum of negative pride. We think we are superior to other people. Then you swing the pendulum to the other side, and then you think you are inferior to everyone, even though that may not be the case, right? So that leads us to low self esteem, low self worth, because we think we are below everyone else, that everyone is smarter than us, everyone is more attractive than us, everyone is more successful at making money than us, everyone is better at their job than us, right? So we think we are inferior. But is that accurate? What are we talking about? Accurate perception, correct expression. So is it accurate to believe you are inferior to other people on the planet? No. They happen to be better at something than you, but it's not about inferior or superior. Likewise, over here, do you think you are truly better than another human being or soul? No. You've just put in, on this side, you've put in more time, energy, and effort to develop a certain skill in this lifetime and previous lifetimes that you are reaping the rewards of that. And then the areas in your life that you are inferior, maybe you generated negative karma that you're working out. Maybe you haven't put in the time, the energy, the money, the effort, right? In order to develop that particular skill. So where's the middle point? So on one side, we believe we're above everyone else. On the other side, we believe we're below everyone else in a certain area or all areas of our lives. Both sides are negative pride that create low self-esteem and low self-worth within us, right? It's the guy who's flaunting all of his wealth because he doesn't feel good enough in every other area of his life, or the guy that's flaunting his fitness who doesn't feel good in every other area of his life, or the attractive woman who's flaunting her beauty but feels she's not good in every other area of her life, right? Or you have the other person on the other side of the coin with inferiority complex, right? Superiority complex, inferiority complex, that they go, no matter how good they are, they could be world class and they still don't think they're good enough, even though they're world class. Does that make sense? A world champion who doesn't think they're good enough at what they do, even though they're the world champion, right? So the middle ground is the ground that we want to be in. It's the path of the Tao, the razor's edge, the middle path, as Lord Buddha would call it, which is the path of humility, which is the path of humility. Another interesting thing around negative pride and what keeps people stuck, keeps them in a cycle of low self-esteem, low self-worth, is even when you give them simple instructions to move their life forward, they won't take it. Did you hear that? Negative pride prevents somebody from following simple instructions to move their lives forward, right? So on one end of the coin, or one side of the pendulum, I should say, is the person feels they're superior to somebody else. So even if by chance they meet with a person who has an answer or advice or understanding that can help alleviate some suffering of their life, they will go, well, that person doesn't know me. That person doesn't understand me. That person doesn't realize that I'm special, that I'm the exception to the rule. Negative pride. So even though that person might have an answer that can help that person improve their finances, improve their career success, improve their physical health, improve their dating life, marriage life, what have you, they will not follow simple instructions because they believe they're special and they know better. So they don't take that advice. Make sense? Then the other side, the the person that deeply wants to get better, but because their negative pride is so ingrained in their personality that even if you give them the right advice and they agree to it, they won't practice it because they don't feel worthy enough to move that part of their life forward. So if you give them advice on how to improve their finances, they'll go, that works for other people, but not for me. I'm not smart enough. I'm not capable enough. I'm not talented enough. I'm not lucky enough. So negative pride kicks in and keeps them down. It's the inferiority complex at work, right? So it's fascinating of being a professional energy healer for 17 years and working with people and doing my own inner work around removing negative pride and building good self-esteem, good self-worth, and good self-image. It's not easy. Negative pride has to be worked on daily, not once a week, not once a month, not when a retreat comes into town or you go to the retreat in that town, but it's something that you work on every single day, developing your humility and eliminating negative pride because it will keep you stuck in any and all areas of your life if you let it. And it can be keeping you stuck for your lifetime. For your lifetime. So, how do we overcome negative pride? We overcome negative pride by having humility. What is humility? Knowing who we are, what we're good at, and what we're not good at. So, who are we? We're light, love, and power. That's who and what we are. We are not above anyone or below anyone as beings of light, beings of love, and beings of power. Okay? So as one business owner said to me many, many years ago, God doesn't create any junk. God doesn't create any junk. So if you recognize that you are a being of light, love, and power, there's nothing to have low self-esteem, low self-worth, and low self-image about. But you say, well, but Christian, what about the people all over the world who hurt other people? Aren't those people junk, garbage, no good? Well, who and what are they at their core? They're beings of light, love, and power. As beings of power or beings of will, guess what? They have the free will to follow the path of virtue or follow the path of vice. They have the opportunity to follow humility or follow negative pride in every moment of their life, in every area of their life. That's why someone is not all good or all bad. Even the worst of the worst of the worst have practiced the virtues in some area of their life at some point in their life. So that means there's a seed of goodness within them. But even the best of the best of the best people, the most loving and kind people on the planet, have still done things that are coming from negative pride that cause injury, pain, suffering to other people. It might have been one or two times in a few months period, but guess what? They're still producing that. Why? Because we are beings of free will. We can choose to live a life of virtue and choose to live a life of vice. We have that will to do that. And you go, well, then why wouldn't we just normally choose the path of righteousness and virtue? Because we lack awareness, we lack understanding, we lack purification. And we keep identifying with those things about us. We think we are our physical body, our emotional body, and our mental body, which gets us into trouble. Grandmaster Chola Koksui says 90+% of all the problems we experience in life is because we identify with the smallest part of who and what we think we are, which are the physical body, the emotional body, and the mental body. But if we truly know who and what we are as a being of light, love, and power, which is infinitely expansive in all directions, which is unbounded, then what's to have low self-esteem and low self-worth about, right? But if you think you're your job and your job pays you X amount and you see your peers earning more than you, then you start comparing your position, your job, your income to their position, their job, and their income, and your self esteem goes down. Make sense? It's very important to realize that. So that's the first step, practicing humility, knowing who and what you are, and then knowing what you're good at and what you're not good at, and being okay with that. You don't have to be perfect in every conceivable area of your life. There are going to be places in your life that some things are going to fall through the cracks. It's okay. It's called being a human being. You can't be perfect in everything, right? I've kind of, over the course of my 21 years as a spiritual practitioner, I've kind of stayed in my lane, right? I do healing, I teach meditation, and I teach people how to improve the quality of their lives. That's pretty much my, and that's that's a pretty big, those are big areas, but that's my lane that I stay in. I don't claim to be a multimillionaire that can teach you how to be a multimillionaire. I don't claim to help you get in the best physical shape of your entire life, even though I can help you in those areas because I've helped other people in those areas, but I stay within my skill set. That's a sense of humility. Now, if I start speaking as though I know what I'm talking about in areas outside of my field of knowledge, then guess what? Negative pride kicks in. And the more information we acquire as people, there's a tendency for us to have more and more and more negative pride or a superiority complex, meaning we read 5 books on investing, so therefore we're an expert in investing, but we've never actually invested in the market. So where is that coming from? Negative pride. We've read 5 books on meditation, and now we consider ourselves qualified to teach others how to meditate, and we're experts to deal with their meditation issues or problems along the path. Not accurate, right? So humility, knowing who and what you are, knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, following the middle path, right? Also, listening and being open. It's another way to develop humility, good self-esteem, and good self-worth. Meaning, if someone's giving you feedback about yourself or about your performance in some area of your life, close your mouth, open up your ears, and be open to the feedback. Now, just because someone's not talking doesn't mean they're listening and doesn't mean they're open to the feedback. So I'm saying be open to the feedback too. Does it make sense? But as soon as you start cutting somebody off, defending your position, and not listening, that's an indicator of negative pride. It's an indicator of negative pride. So when someone gives you feedback, close your mouth, open up your ears, and be open to the feedback. They could be right, they could be wrong, but how will you know if you keep cutting them off and interrupting them, right? So that's very important. Another way of developing humility and eliminating negative pride is by doing something called inner reflection and firm resolution, which is taught in the classes of pranic healing and Hatha yoga. That if you want more details about that, I suggest hire me and I can teach you a simple version of that without you having to take the class. Now, do I want you to take all the classes in pranic healing, the 20 plus classes in pranic healing? Absolutely. But if this is what we have to do to get your foot in the door of practicing a purification practice to help you remove negative pride from your life and to increase your humility, to increase your good self-esteem and good self-worth, so be it, right? Make sense? So inner reflection, firm resolution simply means looking at your life and how you show up in it. Most people don't sit down and go, okay, how was I being prideful today? Where was I demonstrating inferiority or where was I demonstrating superiority? Okay. And when I did that, it caused that person suffering and it caused me suffering. Okay. I need to stop doing that and I need to start practicing humility. I need to stay in my lane. Make sense? So that's another practice one can do to develop humility and good self-esteem. Um, and lastly, as a repeat, knowing who you are. If you don't know who you are, you have negative pride. You have low self-esteem and low self-worth, and you can be swayed from one way to another, from one viewpoint to another. By the way, you ready for this one? This is a great one. So, on one level, someone who has low self esteem and low self worth can be easily persuaded and pushed in one direction, right? Because they don't know who and what they are. They don't know their self worth. They don't know their value, right? So you can convince them to do things that are against the virtues and against their own self interest. But likewise, somebody that has negative pride that you tell, do this or don't do this, they will resist you even if the advice is good, even if the counsel is good, even if what you're sharing with them will alleviate their suffering and improve the quality of their life, they won't do it because they're going to prove to you that they can do it their own way and not your own way. They don't want to give you or anyone else credit for any success they achieve in their life. So that is another form of negative pride and how it shows up and how it keeps people stuck in a holding pattern or in a rut, preventing them from moving their lives forward. So again, negative pride is the last vice to go. It is one of the most difficult things to overcome because, as Alice Bailey, the theosophist, said, it's another word for negative pride is glamour. And she says it's like being in a mist. It's all permeating. So you don't really know it because it's so part of who we are as the human soul as we continue to evolve and let go of these lower tendencies. It's part of the human condition to have negative pride. So we don't even know it. Just like a fish doesn't know it's in water. We don't know that we are being prideful. But how do we develop that awareness? By sitting down and developing an illumined mind over a period of time and going, aha, this is where I was practicing superiority in this situation. This is where I was practicing inferiority in this situation. Neither one are good. They're on both sides of the pendulum. You need to be in the middle, right? The middle path, which will ultimately bring you to soul and self-realization. So again, today's quote, eliminate pride by developing good self-esteem. So I hope this helps. I hope this inspires you. If you would like further assistance, feel free to go to ChristianRLong.com. It's my name, my website. There's more information on that website than my mom knows about me. And then the upper right-hand corner, you can check out our membership site that we're excited to continue building out and expanding and adding more value to. And it's an opportunity for you to become a better soul every single month. And that is it, guys. So lots of light, love, and power from God and my teacher, Grandmaster Choa Kuksui, into your lives. I hope you have a beautiful, amazing Wednesday. If you got value out of this on Facebook, subscribe, leave a comment, give a thumbs up, share it with people on your social media. And I look forward to continue serving you now and as long as I have breath in this body. This is Christian Long, life enhancement consultant, wishing you a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma, namaste. Bye-bye.